creating with the Native Instruments plugins. They sound really good. Right now I got a knack loaded up. Gonna grab a progression, same way that I always do. And we're gonna see what we could get, man. I might even play it out. I don't even know. Sounds really good. What's going on? It's your brother O.T.G. The O.T.G's for Overtime Grind. Hardly seen, but I'm always around. And today I'm on my MPC Live 2 with MPC 3, the official standalone software. I'm using one of the new Native Instruments Play Series knacked instruments right now. Like the way it sounds. We had a higher BPM today. I think we had like 158 or 160 or something. One time for the 160. I got the OP1 right here. I think I might use the Verse Lab. I don't know yet, bro. I'm really enjoying using MPC3. I really like being able to sample and play other instruments right over my beats. You know, right now I have the SP and the chain going into the Live 2. Most videos you see people have the Live 2 playing through the SP. But right now I have the SP going into the Live 2. That way I can add effects and do all kinds of cool stuff to all of the instruments running through the SP. You know what I mean? So different kind of setup today. I like to use this setup when I want to sample the computer. If I'm sampling straight to my SP, this gives me the ability to, whatever I'm listening to or got going on my computer, I can have it running through the MPC Live 2. You know, let's throw these bells in the background. Let's build this one today with a lot of different audio textures. What I just did is doubled out the sequence. We made the sequence from 4 bars to 8 bars, in case you didn't know. When you're doing audio, you gotta start over. There is no punch in. And maybe there is. I haven't tried it yet, just to be honest with you. I don't know if we can or can't punch. I like the way these keys sound. Pretty dope in the background. Today we start melody first. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Smash that notification bell, as they say. Check out what I got in the description. Sign up to the masterclass. Sign up for the newsletter and all that stuff. We cooking up right now, though. Let's see what else we can add. Let's go back, add something else in there. One of the major keys with this is always remember to turn your merge off. I have mine set. I set that in the tips. Make sure you turn it off when you're creating. But right now, let's go ahead and load another, let's load our granulator on there. Throw that on our sound. I really like the granulator a lot. I use it a lot, as you guys will see. I recommend just going through one day and throwing on all kinds of different effects and seeing what you like and don't like. Turning the knobs left and right, maxing it out. Again, we started with no drums. Looks like I got about 5 drums loaded. Let's see if we can make these drums into something. I don't like those snares. We'll probably load a snare, but that's it. Tip, make sure you utilize your search. Utilize your search if you're looking for a specific sound, and it'll go a lot faster. Also, it'll give you access to sounds that you probably never use or look to use. Let's use the step sequencer since that's something we don't see people do a lot. We hit that pad select, and that way we could select our sound, and then we'll use the screen to select where we want to put our steps. So it's real important because I have it moving fast. It's at 8 bars. We kind of want to identify where we're at and then go back. You can see it from the red bar at the top. You know, and so now that we know, what we could do is go back. There's a specific kind of drum pattern I'm looking to create, like that kind of like drill R&B type, where the second bar, it's, you know. So we're going to set that up using the step sequencer. We come through, do the same thing with our drums, kind of step sequence those in there. For the days you don't feel like playing drums, don't ever let them hate on the step sequencer. It's pretty dope. Some people, all they do is step sequence their drums. Essentially, we're doing the same thing. We're just playing it in there, but, you know, however you see it, bucko. All right, we got our snare. I want to speed it up a little bit. It's a specific kind of feel that I'm looking for. Whoa, whole table moved. All right, let's work on these hi-hats. Remember, you can use your full level. You can use 16 levels, or you could turn off your full level and then play around with the velocity. You could also set it at half velocity. A lot of things you could do with the velocity. Hit that sample screen too. Let's go ahead and mess with the pitch some. I have it turned down volume wise, but I'm going to go ahead and hit it at the soft clipper. I don't know why. Sometimes I just like to do it that way, man. When you're in the vibes, you just follow the vibes. Now let's go in here and get the kick down. You know, we made it through the first 4 or 5 minutes of getting it set up. Now, you know, we want to build. Let's see what that sounds like, you know. And if you notice, maybe you don't know, but the step sequencer sets kind of to what you have your note repeat set to. So I have it set to an 1/8 right now. That's why on the kick, the notes look so big. If I had it set on a 16th or a 32nd, I do believe it would look different. Yeah, that's just me looking at it right now. I don't want to go in there and mess with it, but definitely think if you go in there and switch it, it does change the resolution of the boxes, which gives you a whole different kind of space to work in. You get what I mean? You get it. Hopefully you see why I like to utilize this method versus the pads, because now if I wanted, I could just switch to any sound and kind of step sequence that in there. The only downside is you use the screen. I know some people don't like touching the screen all the time, but where there's some people, the other people do. So, you know, efficiency. I always say that's a big thing to utilize in the MPC. So far, the MPC 3 runs really well. You know, I really like how we could just switch through the menus and it never really hangs up. You know, there's been times in the past where you really get to cooking and switching and working, and you got a lot of things that MPC is known to get laggy or slowed in. I think they did a really good job on the speed. Give them 2 thumbs up for that. Again, when I get these drums together, you know, that's on a mute group. We'll have to take that off, play with the pitch of it. Don't be scared to hop into the MPC3 world. You know, there's a lot of benefits. There's some things that it's missing, like I don't see a clips view, so there still is no clips mode. The track thing is a little different. Trap mutes are a little different, but man, I believe there's a lot of pluses, and that's a strong statement. I don't see them changing from this in 3 years or making such crazy changes that you feel like, you know, it was a waste of time of learning this because now there's something brand new. Let's make an audio track, see what we got going on. Man, so one thing is I left the merge on. So when you open up audio tracks now, you have the option. I told you guys in my stories or my shorts as one of the tips to go to the menu and set your audio option to merge. So that way, when you make your audio tracks, you can automatically hear what's coming in your input. Now, after you record, you got to go back and turn the merge off. Just turn it to auto. And when you turn it to auto, it will just play the audio on that track. When you leave merge in, as you make more audio tracks, the audio coming in will sound louder than what will actually be played in your recording. So right here, I turn up the input because when I looked at the waveform looks small. And the real issue that I was dealing with was the fact that when I was playing it, as you can hear, it's way louder. But when I recorded it in, it was still quiet, and I couldn't figure it out while I was shooting this or actually doing it. I spaced it. You know, players mess up sometimes too, man. We mess up sometimes too. And so it didn't dawn on me till way later on that that's what was going on. So if you ever have that issue of where what you're playing in seems 3 or 4 times louder than the actual recording, you might have multiple audio channels with input monitoring on, essentially. So go through, get that right, and save yourself some mental anguish while you're beat making. And if you tend to forget, then make sure you put that on your checklist of things to go through when you're problem solving. Let's add on a compressor to that sound. And this method, what I want to just show you guys is that the MPC is very capable to mix as you go, add automation as you go. You know, you can build an architect as you go, and it's super stable. You know what I mean? Super stable. The new screen, I definitely will say the new main screen is super engaging. So it definitely keeps you focused and keeps you on point of what you're trying to do. You get what I mean? And you can navigate and kind of get to all the places that you need pretty quickly. And that's important. All right, we got Sub Factory right here. keep hearing in my mind this kind of bass that's got it glides really cool, and it's got some kind of weird woo woo woo, like that kind of drillish 808 glide type thing going on. So we're going to try to recreate that. We're going to find our key. I could have looked at it when I played it, which I should have done, but you know, sometimes I like just playing off ear. You get some crazy results when you do that. I think it's important to trust yourself and just have fun too. When I sat down, I didn't have any intent to make this beat. I like to make my videos and just shoot them straight through. And whatever we get at the end of it. And I think that's a dope way of creating. It allows you just to kind of, it's a skill in trusting yourself, you know what I mean? Like I try to allow myself to just follow the feeling of what I feel with the music in the moment. Spent some time with a guy named Spawn, who is DJ Jazzy Jeff's road manager / Black Dog's hype man, and the Roots, one of the Roots engineers at the Roots Room. And he said to me, one of the things of being a producer, what helps you, makes you a better producer, is being able to capture the ideas as fast as you hear them in your head and being able to emulate them with the music. And so I spend a lot of time practicing throughout the years of just what do I hear? What sound do I hear? Do I like that? Do I feel that? Does this feel good? Does it sound good? Where do I hear this in the mix? And I try to replicate that. You know, so I try to make it where my brain's moving so fast and my hands are trying to keep up with it. You almost become like a mad scientist. And then when you get done cooking, you get to see what you got. That's why I like making these YouTube videos. That's why I like making beats this way. You know, if we have to sit down and make a drill beat, a trap beat, a crunk beat, an R&B beat, a so-and-so type beat, that's nothing. We could listen to the song and decode it and emulate it, find the BPM, all this other stuff. Or we can create what we want to create and just make our own thing. And I say all that to say MPC 3 allows us to do that. MPC 2.15 did. I could do the same thing there. You know, I have for years, but I will say this method right here, it does move. It seems like it moves a little bit faster. You know, and some of the efficiency things they've added to the main screen help you capture those ideas a lot faster. And the way that I made beats, because we're still all on sequence 1 doing this, and this beat's probably going to be a 1 sequence beat, it still allows me to utilize all the sounds and this beat to create other beats on other sequences. Right now I'm trying to just freestyle this bass part. What I keep doing is hit and record, not record or not overdub, but I keep hitting record and play start. So that way we just keep playing over from the beginning. I don't have to undo it, I don't have to do anything, it just replaces when it records, for you guys who don't know. So now we got this bass part in here. Let's make another plug-in track. Let's see. Let's add some keys. The stage piano, and we already have the OP1 keys in there. We already have some other stuff going on. But we're going to use this just to throw it in the background and create a little bit more motion, reverb. You know, we want to create some fullness in this space. So we're going to utilize the keys to try to fill it out some. If you can't hear it, just stop it sometimes. Check, see what you got going on. Put it back in the mix, you know what I mean? Right now, what you guys are hearing is that we're hearing the exact same thing. So I'm making this beat right out of my Live 2 speakers. I like making beats on the Live 2 with just the speaker. Sometimes I think it can mess you up because you can underestimate how low the lows are. But for the most part, I think that you can get it right. We layered those keys in. Now let's just push it a little bit more. Let's see what happens if we were to record some more OP1 in there. Or let's see what happens if we are to throw the verse lab or something in there. But let's see. You know, let's see how many audio tracks it can take. Make sure you like, share, subscribe, comment. Right now we definitely are running through MPC 3. 100 emojis to you if you've stayed this long. Make sure you check out the O.T.G Stimmy Pack, a package deal I have set up on my store to get you started. Get some drum packs, 400 pad progressions, plugins, a bunch of different things all at one time. Right now I'm adding effects to that sound because it's running through the SP404. And so now we are able to add 2 separate effects to that sound because we're just recording the input and the MPC Live 2. What you're hearing that I'm playing is the OP1 field. This is the string, it's like the string plug-in. You can see it on the screen down there. There's a lot of hate for the OP1 field, but I love it. I love it, you know what I mean? I think it's great. It's amazing. Extremely creative, very unique sounds. I think they're super dope. The ability to build your own sounds. But we're not here for that. I'm showing you now just how easy it is to record. We're still on sequence 1. We got our guitar-like sound in there. The sound is going to be like our sound to identify the bridge or the chorus or whatever we want to do. This isn't an all-the-time sound, even though it's playing all the time. Build another audio track. to stack my sounds up and then play with the volumes and play with the pitch, you know, different things, and try to make it sound like one sound that works together. You know, sometimes you might have 10 sounds, and when people hear it, they think it's just 3 sounds or it's a sample. You know, they think you sampled something. They don't think it's that grand. They don't believe that you could create something like that, especially utilizing the MPC or some of this standalone stuff that we have. Just want to try to find something to kind of accent in there. Today we just really having a cook session. I try to remember sometimes that I'm on video. If you guys watch the full video, if you're at this point, let me know in the comments if you want longer videos, because I could definitely slow down and we could cook up even stronger. You get what I'm saying? Could definitely get into some LFOs and sound design and all kinds of different things, some super in-depth stuff. But you guys gotta let me know. You gotta comment. Definitely gotta leave it in the comments and let me know that you watched the videos this far and that you do it, you know. Most of the time it says that people only like not my analytics, because you guys, I got a great community already. You guys watch a lot of the videos. You watch, I make very long videos, and I leave all the ums and all the other stuff in there. I leave all the mess ups. I let you see all the different things, the decisions that I make, you know. I don't try to capture you with a bunch of different screens, movement, and mesmerize you with a bunch of different gear. I try to make sure that you can hear the audio, so you can hear the volume that's changing. I don't try to run it through a bunch of outboard gear. You know, try to stay focused in one machine for the most part. So you guys who just got one MPC, you can emulate. So I'm thankful for you guys, because you guys see the vision, you rock with me, and I'm thankful for the people who've been rocking for a long time. Thank you. So just let me know if you're up for even longer videos. We could definitely do maybe 1 or 2 of those a week. You know, I was thinking about live streaming and making beats live. We could definitely do that once a week. You guys let me know what you want to do. We live stream, I'd probably make 100 beats. Right now what we're doing is we're making a soft arrangement. And the arrangement's a little crazy. It's a little crazy. 64 bars, 160 BPM, probably about 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Remember, when you go to your trap muse screen now, you have 2 options. You have the audio and events. I use the audio. You have to hit your automation box, turn that on, which is in your right hand corner of your screen. I'm about to turn it off right now. Boom, see? So I just turned off that automation box. And now I'm looking for something to play over the entire arrangement. So now I have a 64 bar arrangement And what I want to do is come in and play over it. You know, we got this long loop going. And even though we added some mutes and did some things, it's still essentially one long loop. So what I like to do sometimes, you know, I told you guys about it a lot in my early videos, but we finally have graduated to this point where I can show you. Sometimes what I like to do is come back over and record different synths and different parts over the entire arrangement, which that way gives it more of a human feel. So you can see now I'm going to go get my Verse Lab, set it up. So I have it set up via the USB hub. We're going to select the output and the MIDI channel to send to the Verse Lab via MIDI. We're going to now have access to the Verse Lab sounds through our keyboard in the MPC. I had to turn the audio from the Verse Lab is coming through the OP1, which is going into the SP404, which is going into the MPC. So now notice when I make the audio track, I can't play the Verse Lab anymore. So what I go is go back to MIDI, turn the input from auto to in, and now when I go to a different track, I can still play the MIDI from the Verse Lab and record the audio in at the same time. So right now I have these horns from the Roland Verse Lab. What I'm going to do is find some kind of part with those horns, and we're going to keep stacking our layers up. So right now I'm going to go through, turn off all my effects, because I still had everything that was coming through the SP playing through the 303 vinyl sim and the delay effect. And right now I'm just trying to figure out where do I want this chord of horns to come in at. So now we're about to record 64 bars of this in. And I'm going to do some awkward things, like I'm just going to come off and let it breathe for a minute, tap it on and off a couple times. I'm going to do some small things that might seem a little awkward, but when you hear it, you'll understand, and these are small things that you could do in your other beats. Like when I'm making beats like these where, you know, essentially they have no rhyme or reason. I didn't say I'm going to make a hip-hop beat or this, that beat or such and such beat. I just sat down and said, hey, I want to make a video. Let's use MPC3. Right now you can see that's what my arrangement window looks like, because essentially I just copied all the notes over. And we're doing all the arranging utilizing mutes. And I'm recording audio in right now from the Verse Lab. I just wanted to come in and see what I wanted to make, and see if we could put the hammers to MPC3 in different ways. You know, we always see people make little quick 5-10 minute beats, make some loops, chop some samples, but can it really handle 64 bars of audio? This much audio? Can it handle 6 tracks of audio, 7 tracks of audio, 4 different plugins, brand new plugins, a bunch of mixing, automation? Can you depend on the MPC to do that in MPC3? as is? And the answer is yes, you can. I'm showing you right now that you can. You know, if you run into a bunch of errors and different things, it might be your workflow. You might need to tighten up your workflow, and the way that you're doing things or how you're doing things might not make the most sense. Like, you know, I save my automation for last. That's something that, you know, I try to automate last, or automate things that I know I'm not going to go back there and change. So if you watch the other video where I did a bunch of automation very early in the first 5 minutes of the video, I never went back and touched that again. And if I needed to change the volume or effects, I did that by adding effects. So I never really get jammed with automation issues, because I have a space in my workflow or a checklist of when I utilize automation. I just don't start throwing it on there sloppily and then start building, because that's how you can run into errors. You know what I mean? I try to make sure I like everything that I'm doing, so that way I don't get 10 steps ahead and want to start erasing and deconstructing everything just to reconstruct it again. You know, that's not a workflow that I have. I turned the Wi-Fi off, so Wi-Fi is off right now. You know, when I'm creating and I'm happy with what I have on my MPC, I turn the Wi-Fi off. It's no need to just walk around with the Wi-Fi on for what? You know, I don't waste certain things. Like, I could hook the OP1 field up via Bluetooth. I could hook the Yamaha C-Track up via Bluetooth. But I'd rather just trust it with a hard wire. You know what I mean? Run it meaty to meaty or daisy chain it. You know, so that's one of the things that I'm not using. I don't have everything meaty synced, so I'm not sending a bunch of time code out and program changes and things of that nature. You know, I just record the audio in like we're doing now. Again, record an audio in over 64 bars. This is our third track that we're doing that. No, and this is the audio from the Verse Lab. So I could record MIDI to the Verse Lab and then save it, and then try to save the project, or I could try to set a program change up to where I could change the audio on the MPC by turning a knob. Well, I just have my setup set up to where my right hand, which is off screen, turns up the volume or changes the sound on one machine, and I operate it with the other hand. So, you know, there's a lot of capabilities and different things that I do not use. I don't really, you know, I have a bigger keyboard. I don't ever really set up the key groups and, you know, do keyboard splits. I don't really do that. You get what I mean? Like, I don't necessarily utilize the key groups too often. So I don't ever really have too much loaded in my memory. I don't open up a bunch of drum packs or clone my drums. I don't do a lot of that stuff. I don't try to XY effects early. So, you know, I could spend the whole end of this video going through a bunch of different things that I know, if you're trying to implement or utilize, could cause some hangups. The point of what I'm saying is I don't utilize all that. I utilize the MPC and as a sampler and a way to arrange my music. And with these plugins that they offer us now, along with the Native Instruments plugin, which is the main sound you hear in the background of this beat, You know, I think if they were to kind of give us a better way of recording, or maybe a de-esser or some other things in the vocal suite, I think that they are making a strong contender for a machine that you could really get it all done in the box. This box, not the computer. So right now I'm going to run through, add my EQ. And you can see it's starting to shape up, man. And we're 41 minutes in this session, and we good money. You haven't saw any hang-ups. You didn't run out of space. You know, we didn't get low on space. Right now, you know, we just running through and doing small extras. I'm on the main channel, throw a couple MPC emulators on there. Now I'll go to the mix screen. I really like these mixer faders, as I said before. Now we're going to go over to I.O. Let's add our 4-band EQ. I love that 4-band EQ. Let's add some more kick to that kick drum. Let's hone in the frequency and find where it's at. And then boost that so it's got a little bit of feel. Like I said in a lot of my videos, sometimes you gotta hear it and know, but you don't, you know, it's up to you when you want to do it. I knew a long time ago I wanted to add more oomph to that kick, but I also wanted to see what else I created. And with that kick being skinny, it allowed me to utilize these other sounds to help create a low end that has a pretty cool feel to it. So then when I come back and boost the low end on the kick, you know, we just fill in spaces. So now let's go in there and get the volume of our hi-hat better. You know, it was kind of whamming just a little bit. Right now we doing what they call touching knobs. Let's go ahead and automate our drums. So let's go to menu, pad mute, set up our automation. See what I'm saying? About save it to the last. Now let's go ahead and automate our hi-hats. That'll make that beginning a lot smoother. We'll make the end a lot smoother. Add some variation and different feel to it. Final thoughts. I think MPC 3 is extremely dope. It's definitely moved the MPC up. The MPC was already my favorite drum machine. The SP is my favorite sampler. First Lab's my favorite all-in-one tool. OP1 Field and the Seek Track are my favorite on-the-go drum machines. Little all-in-one machines. The Poly-In Tracker Mini is my favorite super on-the-go device. Like if I'm just moving without, and I don't need keys, or I just need something kind of small, that thing gets it done. But the MPC, it is the father of my DAW setup, you know, and the SP404 is the mother, and between them, all of the kids work together. But the MPC, it is the DAW. They definitely have made MPC 3 to get it all done machine. You know what I mean? And where they're going in the future, you know, hopefully if they add some de-essers and different things inside of the MPC, They get some ways to bounce this to a track or bounce and do this or do that or do this. Some small things. Better ways to handle your drums just a little bit better. I think that they're already in a league of their own, but I think that they will have the most historic machines on the market. Great sampler. The screen isn't overkill. You would think that essentially you're working on a computer. But, I've been a Standalone boy, Standalone gang the whole time. Back when they was making fun of us, we was Standalone gang. I'd love to get my hands on an MPC X and just kind of see what that feels like. See, how far we could build and do different things. But I have so much gear. My wife won't let me get one. She'll only let one be sent. So if Akai, if you're listening, sponsors, if you're out there listening, send that MPC X right on through. Let's get it on video so we can show these people how big of a plus or that is to your studio setup and how that works. But the Live 2, the MPC 1, MPC 3, definitely worth updating if you haven't. Definitely worth checking out the Native Instruments stuff. Definitely worth getting the plugins. Invest in yourself. MPC 3, O.T.G. I love it. It's here to stay on my machines. Another one.